So when you're trying to learn to hairbrush, there's like a lot and a lot of things to figure out. And one of the more like even simplistic problem, or one of the first hurdle that you might come across is, how do I learn to airbrush? Because there's a lot of ways. That's a question that I see often. So I guess let's explore today. Let's talk about like three different ways that you can learn to airbrush. So there's this saying in life, good, fast, and cheap. Pick two, and I think this applies really well to learning how to airbrush. Meaning, there's not like a one size fits all or one like perfect solution. But you get to choose, among these like three criterias, which one are right for you. There's a right approach for whatever you desire, essentially. So the fast and cheap option would be, like, as the kids say, just send it, which essentially is buy an airbrush and just start spraying, and then you'll figure it out at some point. So this is the free option to learn. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it's really fast. You get an airbrush, like Jeff Bezos is gonna drop this on your doorstep tomorrow morning, and then you can just like start spraying away. That being said, is it good? Not really. You're gonna mess up. It's the nature of the beast. Like, a lot of like learning to hairbrush is doing something wrong, then figuring out what you did wrong, and then figuring out how to fix what you did wrong. So when you just go at it, lots of things can go wrong. So definitely not for everybody. In fact, that's how it's hard for me to bash this approach, because that's how I learned to airbrush. When I got mine, the scene was not what it was, and I didn't have like friends that were into airbrushing, and I was really kind of the first in my friends group to get one. So that's how I learned. But all that's also, I know this is not for everybody. Not everybody wants to be like, sitting in front of like a clogged up airbrush and at like 2 a.m. and like, oh, what did I just do? This approach definitely not for everybody, but if you are kind of a little bit of like a self starter, really motivated, and you want to, when you want to get it done, it works. I'm still here. It's a real approach, and super free and super fast. Like, you want to do it today, you do it today, right? So now let's talk about the good and cheap option, which is just free resources from the internet. Which is, where you're watching this right now, right? So if you're watching this, you have access to probably YouTube, or lfirehobbies.com, which is my website. So just my own channel, but there's thousands more, maybe tens of thousands more probably of resources out there, so you can find every single piece of information that you need. Now, the reason why this is not fast is that you actually have to find it, and not only do you need to find the information that you're looking for, you also, sometimes the frustrating part is you have to find the information you don't know what you're looking for. Like, I don't know that I don't know this, and yet you need to find it. And I saw this comment on Reddit recently. Someone said, "Well, I don't like this because I have to watch a 10 minutes video for 30 seconds of information," and I think that sums up pretty well. Whereas if I'm in this very specific video, I'm talking about three different ways, and the chances are that one of these three ways is right for you, but you still have to like watch all these techniques to find the one that's right. So it's a self-fulfilling example, I guess, but it's definitely possible. I mean, all the resources are out there, so you can learn anything. The main problem is, again, finding information that maybe you don't even know that you do, or it does take like a lot of time. Like, you need to, not only do you need to like consume the content and try it, like, if you want to learn to, I don't know, thin your paint is a pretty common example. Well, you have to not only find videos that do it, and then you have to weed out from the 10 first videos on YouTube, for example, and then find one that you like, and then you have to also practice it. So you have the research part, the watching part, and then the learning part, and then maybe watching a different video because that one didn't work out for you so great. So so that's kind of the slower option, but it's free and it's good. I mean, you get to choose the information that you want to incorporate, so you get access to for the best information for you, provided that you want to find it. And just because I want to avoid you a little bit the needle in a haystack situation, I linked in the description a couple of the posts for this entire video, but also a couple of good articles I think that can get you started if you're looking to learn the airbrush in the good and cheap way. I've linked a couple here. And then option three, which is the good and fast, is investing in a book, a course, or a teacher. There's really, I think these are almost two different categories because having a teacher, like an actual like one-on-one class or a mentor or tutor, what I call it, what you want to call it, and the buying like a very specific course or book is slightly different. So the courses and the books, of course, I'm going to link to the ones that we've created here with Elfire Hobbies. There's a course. It's online, so you can do it in your own time. And the book is essentially the same format as the course, but in a book instead of a bunch of videos. But it's the same content, and you can get that one on Amazon, either in paperback or ebook. So, but the good thing about these is like the video is kind of perfect because it filters out the option from the good and cheap version, which is, well, the course teaches you everything you need to know in like a sensible order. And I'm saying as in mine, but there are other courses if you don't want to listen to mine or whatever. There are others available, but I'm saying usually if it's like a well made one, it's going to be the information is going to be already broken down and it's going to be in a logical order. So you don't really have to find anything. It's there and it's presented in a way that makes sense, and you have to watch it and then do it. And the good thing about videos is that it's really easy to follow along compared to the book, for example, where the book you can't really see what's happening, so you have to read about it. The book is again the same thing. I'm talking about mine, of course, but there's a bunch of them. I bought a couple of books because I was like curious about what was out there, but I really found some that were really for miniatures, and the information in illustration, like airbrush illustration, I found is really way overkill for a lot of things, or some things don't really translate, and you end up learning things that are taking more time to learn and that you're never going to use anyway. But the book format is essentially again usually the same idea where you get all the content that you need in a sensible like order, a sensible format. The advantage of the book, even if you can't really see what's happening, is that it's really easy to find information quickly. Whereas, if there was, again, I'll come back to the thinning example. If there's a video on thinning, you have to watch the whole video to figure it out. If there's a chapter on thinning, it's pretty easy to scan through until you find the piece of information that you are looking for. And also these courses and these books are not too expensive. Like they're definitely not cheap, as in they're not free compared to the other two options, but they're usually not like going to break the bank, especially when you compare it to the price of like the airbrush setup or the general price of like the miniatures that we play, or if I don't buy miniatures, I 3D print them. Well, the printer costs or anything, it's not like a significant price, I don't think, but it's still a price. So it's not it's not free, but it's not that big. So the one-on-one version is usually that's going to run up a lot more, but it gives you a very unique access, which is all these like videos, blogs, and all the other resources mentioned before. They show you what to do. Having access to a teacher shows you what not to do. So let's go back to thinning paint is like the real challenge, right? So in like a course or a book, the course is going to tell you, you want thin paint this way, when you do it like milk or whatever version, or you're going to read an article and it's going to be, science formulas with like ratios and whatnot. And so it tells you what to do. And then the teacher, if you're thinning paint right next to him, can go, don't do that. And this is a very unique, whereas no other format of teaching has the part that tells you what not to do. So it can really pinpoint, instead of you having to find out your own mistake, you have somebody that can say this is a mistake. And so I've given these kind of classes a bunch, and like hundreds of times in the past, and that's the most. I think the people that got really the most were people that did one of the three other ways first, and so they knew a little bit about like everything. And then they took the class, and then they got the most value out of it because they knew roughly what to do, and all that was needed was telling them, oh, this is not wrong, this is, you know, what went wrong. So that really, I thought, was like a very very all encompassing way to learn. But again, the drawback is it's going to cost you money. If it doesn't cost you money, I would look for a better teacher, because you know that's just the nature of the beast. And the challenge is with this is more finding like a teacher. Like, for I say, I've done this class a bunch of times. I've done it in French exclusively and in person only. I've never really tried the webcam version. I know it's available. I know, so I think Next Level Painting did that at some point, or you know, Kenny from Next Level Painting. I think that was a thing. I don't know that many. So it exists somewhere, but it's still, you know, it's you have to look for it. And that, again, this is definitely not the cheap option, but it is a great option. And so, of course, for the book and the course, I put the link in the description below if you're interested in going that route. Again, nothing wrong with any of the routes. It's a matter of you. You know, you get to choose how you want to learn. So if you try one way, it doesn't seem to work out, just try another, you know. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed and found this useful, be sure to subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments if there's anything else you would like me to talk about. I make all of these videos based on the questions from you guys.